Alright, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. So as I mentioned, we started in the last class, we started about the Arabic language. And now we're going to go over the different phases. Alright, so there's actually 9 phases of learning the Arabic language that I put in this book. Going from the first phase of just beginning, with the reading properly and getting the correct pronunciation and things like that, going all the way to memorizing Arabic poetry and whatnot, and understanding it, because it's not just an issue of memorizing it, but memorizing it and understanding it. So now we're on page 86, and we're going to start with phase 1. Phase 1 is a short phase because it's a very basic phase of just to get the person reading properly, inshallah. So this is going to be short, but then we're going to go into more detail with the other phases, inshallah. So phase 1, now you are getting started. You will begin with the book Al-Qa'ida Al-Nuraniyya. All right, and this is just my suggestion. It doesn't mean that you have to start with this book. There's other books that you can start with. But the whole point of starting with this, the reason why I mention this book is because it starts with the huruf, and then it starts to put the huruf together, with the harakat. So you have first off you learn what a fa is, but then you learn how to fa, fu, fi, ba, bu, bi, and you start to and you be able to make the different sounds that you need to make in the Arabic language, and then it starts to connect it. So for example, like cat, ku, in the key, and then you put in the cat, and then you put cat, and then then you keep adding on to it. You have tu, bu. All right,
What page is it?
86. So this is the reason why I mentioned this book. But like I said, there's a lot of other books like this, but this is the most popular. So you're not limited to this one specific book. But this is probably where you'll find the most resources online. So that's why it's a better place to start. So after that, it said, this book will start you off with the letters and then gradually introduce you to joined letters until you can read words in the Arabic language. And by the time that you get to the words, they're going to be actual words. So then you're not just learning words. You're not just learning how to read the word, but you're actually learning what the word means. So they'll say qalamun. All right, qalamun. Then you're going to learn it. Qalam is what? It's a pen. You're going to read like katabat. Katabat means what? To write, right? And then you see like kitabun. And it's going to take you through this, so then that way you can start with the other books of Ta'bir from the beginning, inshallah. All right, in this phase, you should not be in a hurry. Oh, don't be in a hurry. Take your time. Take your time. If you are from the West, you are going to have a lot of pronunciation issues. And these issues become from the fact that these letters don't exist in the English language. And even the letters that we have that are similar, they're not even close. Like, we don't have these types of rules of pronunciation. So, I mean, there's probably more than half of the Arabic alphabet don't exist in English. So, don't be in a hurry to think I got it. No, take your time and make sure that you get it correctly. All right, so it said, if you are from the West, you're going to have a lot of pronunciation issues. We all did. All right, and we all still do. I mean, we all got to focus, because if we get lazy, we won't make these pronunciation mistakes. It doesn't matter how long we've been speaking Arabic. If we get around people that are lazy with the pronunciation, we start to get lazy. A lot of the times, my son will say that, nah, Baba, it's ayn. I'm like, shut up. I know it's an ayn, but I get lazy with what? The pronunciation. You gotta always check yourself and pay attention. So he said, we all did. Take your time. There's no rush. Because you're not in a race against anybody. You're the only person that's in this race is you. You're battling yourself. You're trying to make yourself do these things every single day that you have to do. And you got goals that you're trying to achieve for yourself. You're not in a hurry. You don't need to be in a hurry, but that doesn't mean be lazy. Work hard, but don't try to if you feel that I still need to work on this more, work on it more. But don't be in a hurry just to move on to the next thing and move on to the next thing. No, work hard, but take your time. All right, the worst thing you can do is to be in a hurry and learn the wrong pronunciation that sticks with you for life, and it will, because you're going to be memorizing the Quran with those mistakes. And then what happens is later on you're going to have to go back. You have 2 choices now. You can stop reading the Quran for a year so you forget everything and then have to rememorize it correctly, or you're going to have to sit there and rememorize every single thing over and over with the correct pronunciation. You don't want to do that. It's too much of a headache. And so Allah musta'an. And again, once you get tired or you get lazy, guess what happens? If you're not focusing, you're going to revert back to the original thing that you memorized, which is the mistake. So you don't want that. You don't want that. It takes too long to fix those mistakes. It might have taken you one day or 1 week to memorize that page, but after you sat there and read that page for a year or two with mistakes, then you go back to try to fix it, it's going to take you about 5 or 6 years before you stop making those mistakes. It's not worth it. Take your time. The worst thing you can do is to be in a hurry and learn the wrong pronunciation that sticks with you for life. Also, you have to avoid allowing your emotions to get the best of you. You're going to get very frustrated and want to quit every time you mispronounce a letter. Yeah, because everybody's going to have something that they, certain people, they might get the ayn correctly, right? But they have a problem with the cough, or they have a problem with the dal. Or they have, everybody, huh?
Dod.
Huh?
Dod.
Oh, everybody's gonna have a pronunciation. The Arabs have problems with the vault, so that's like, that's everybody, and especially when it's with a sukoon, that's gonna be the biggest, and to get that, you're gonna be slamming your fist against the wall, throwing the book against the wall, hitting your head against the wall, throwing the cat across the room.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna think, that you're celebrating Ashura or something like that. Whipping yourself with a belt.
No, I said it.
Yes, Allah Mustaan. But I mean, that's just the reality. But you have to be patient. And the easiest way to help you with this type of thing, honestly, is to get into the habit early on and get one reciter that you listen to, and just go through the whole Mus'haf with that reciter, looking at the Mus'haf, and listen and focus on every pronunciation. Who is the best reciter for this?
Al-Husari.
Al-Husari.
Al-Minshawi too.
Al-Minshawi, see, Al-Husari, he is clearer. Like, Husari does not sing. He has no singing in his voice. It's just a manly pronunciation. His voice is just beautiful. It's just that beautiful. But he doesn't change his voice, whereas Minshawi his voice is very beautiful, don't get me wrong. I love Minshawi. I grew up on Minshawi. The very first, when I was 15 or 16 years old, some Egyptian brothers, they gave me the whole thing of Minshawi, the cassette tapes. So I grew up on that, A lot of the early surahs that I memorized is from listening to Minshawi. I was sitting there, even told my son, I was listening to Minshawi just recently, and I realized that there's something I do whenever I recite. I never knew where I got it from. And it's because of him, because of listening. And when I went back and listened to it, then I realized, I was like, man, he's the cause of that.
You usually realize you get your melody from someone or something,
It's not the melody, it's something I always do at that last part of the ayah. When I go into like a deeper voice and then draw it out, he does that a lot.
I'm starting to have a little
What about Sheikh Al-Hudayfi?
Whatever, it does, look.
Wow.
Husari is like a suggestion. It's because of the clearness of his pronunciation. But you choose whoever you jive with, like a person, because like for me, I love to listen to Husari. But who do I memorize easily? Is that even a word? It's easier for me to listen to Shuraim. Like I listen to Shuraim recite Surah Ali Imran, and I memorize Ali Imran just from listening to Shuraim. Memorize the whole surah, him and Sudais. Because of the melody, it got stuck in my head, and then when I actually sat down to memorize Surah Ali Imran, it just like that, I just breezed through it. I was memorizing like every page. I would read it like 20 times, and it was just stuck in my head. I could, it was done. I was done for the day. I had no experience like that with any other surah. Even though I listened to Surah Al-Baqarah, I used to listen to Al-Husari every single day, Surah Al-Baqarah, but it would not stick in, like the melody would stick in my head, but I didn't make it memorizing and the memorization easier. But I say Husari just because of the clearness of his pronunciation. But you can choose whoever you want. Just don't choose somebody who recites fast, because you want to hear the pronunciation. So if you sit down and take let's say 20 minutes every day, and just read along 20-30 minutes a day, and just read along with the Mus'haf as he's reciting, and you listen to the entire Mus'haf, and then once you're finished, do it one more time. It might take you some months. 30 minutes a day is equivalent like half a juz with Husari, if it depends on which pronunciation, which qira'ah that you get, recitation. But it'll take you about 60 to 75 days to finish it, if you went at that pace. If you went with somebody faster, it might, but like I said, the faster people, you're not going to hear it. You want to hear those letters. You want to hear the letters that you're having problems with. You want to hear how he's saying them. So that's the best thing that I can honestly suggest. Just sit down and just listen and go through the Mus'haf with one person, twice at least. All right. After that, he said, we have all been there and done that. Be patient and remember what you are suffering for. Don't forget what you're doing this for. When you're feeling all that pain and suffering, you just want to quit because you say, what? It's not for me. Nah, but everybody had to go through this. You're not special. You'd be special if you had no problems and you just picked up everything, easily. That you would be special. Very special. But you probably wouldn't continue because you got things too easy, so you got bored. Nah, and that's what happens with people when they memorize easy and they learn easy. What happens? They get bored and they quit because it's too easy. So but just remember what you're doing this for. You're doing this for Jannah. You're not doing this for people. You're not doing this for a job. You're not doing this for salary. You're not doing it for anything. You're doing this to get the Jannah. You're doing this to understand the book of Allah. You're doing this to understand the Sunnah of His Messenger. That goal is worth all the pain and suffering. He said, you are suffering to gain the pleasure of Allah. That is worth being patient for. Al-Qa'idatu An-Nuraniyah is a small book. It's very small. And it can take you between 3 to 6 months to complete it properly. If your teacher feels you have, and that depends on the person again, depends on the person. If you're a person, because you got to understand, man, growing up in America, not being born a Muslim is different than growing up in America being born a Muslim. And growing up in America being born a Muslim with parents who used to play the Quran a lot is a lot different than growing up being born a Muslim with a father or a mother who used to play like Al Green a lot or something like that, or Luther Vandross a lot.
Biggie.
Or Bob Marley a lot. So you listening to the Quran at a young age is going to be a lot helpful for you during your journey. But now, if you are a person who grew up non-Muslim, never hearing the Quran, then that's what you got to start. It's going to take you longer to get this down. It's going to take you a lot longer. Whereas somebody who grew up listening to the Quran, even if he doesn't speak Arabic, he'll find a lot more. It's not going to be easy, but it will be easier, a lot easier. And that's why you see the Arabs, they memorize the Quran a lot easier because why? They grew up, at least their mother used to play the Quran all the time in Ramadan. Maybe she played the Quran when she's cleaning the house. They had the Quran playing on the Mecca channel, and just sitting there on the TV all day long.
Everyone doing Umrah.
Yeah, so you hear it a lot. But us, we didn't grow up hearing it, so we need to start hearing it. All right. So he says it's a small book and it can take you between 3 to 6 months to complete it properly. If your teacher feels you have it down at the end of 3 months, you can go to the next phase. If the teacher thinks you might have to go through the book again, take his advice. Like I said, because again, it's not a race. You're not here to try to hurry up and just go on to the next thing. You want to perfect it. You're looking for perfection. And what you do in the beginning is going to set the table for everything that comes after that. If you sit there and try to hurry up and just try to get it quick in the beginning, then what? You're going to be walking on a crutch through every single phase, and you're not going to. There's no way if you were in a hurry in that first phase, the second phase, that you're going to even make it to the ninth phase, because you're going to end up having to go back and fix things, and it's going to take you a lot longer than it would have taken if you just did things properly. So again, I remember that story I told you about the Shankiti guy, right? Where he said he used to memorize 3 to 5 lines every day, even though he had the ability to memorize a lot more. And they said, why don't you just memorize it? You can memorize, you have the ability to memorize 20 lines a day. Why are you only memorizing 3 to 5 lines? He said, because I'm in a hurry to get back to my family. He wanted to perfect it. And he said, if I memorize it quickly, I have to keep going back and studying it again and redoing it, and I'm not perfecting it. And it's going to take longer than just to sit down and get it right the first time. So be patient and don't be in a hurry, inshallah.